Okay guys, I am back for the next cover, and this one is where we're going to take the book apart and then cover it with fabric. So yeah, let's go and get started. I use usually only dollar store books, and I do mine just a little bit different these days. If you look in your book, especially like dollar store books, like it's got the two flaps the way they're glued now. I just work it apart this way as best I can. For me, it works about better to do it that way than trying to cut pages. I do take out the fly sheets eventually. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of pull like that. And then I can, because when you're trying to cut through it, I don't know if anybody else has run into this. I usually end up cutting through the spine. And obviously that's not what we want. So yeah. And dollar store books are put together completely different than other books. I'll cut if I have to, but if we can just pull like that, then much better, right? And then we can deconstruct a little bit further, right? Sometimes I used to leave the fly sheets, but now I don't. I do the tearing here, because I'm going to cover that with other stuff here. And I don't think I brought my other stuff. So this is one of those things that I do use for the spine. I do use the, so let me go back here. Okay, so this piece here, if you tear out like I just did, I leave this stuff in there if you can. You don't have to, but I try to, because that just gives more of the spine more stability, if that makes sense. And then I just kind of clean this up. And I guess we're doing these from beginning to end. So let me see what I have handy here. Straps. Yeah, that'll probably be long enough. Okay, so I use, what did we call this? Lightweight chipboard. You can use heavyweight chipboard if you want. Sorry if that just totally sounded like I was like far away. I was just trying to grab some more of this. Okay, so this thinner stuff here will work better. Yeah, that stuff came from the last journal, so a lot of times you can just really use like that's too much. Yeah, too thin. A lot of times you can just like reuse your, like these are the flaps of the book that I'm going to be using. Or flaps of the book. Flaps of the box we used. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm going to do this very similar to what we did before. And I'm going to just double check that to make sure it kind of, I think I'm going to go with the wider pieces. Just so that we can kind of build it in there, maybe. No, we'll do the thinner one. Sorry, I'm kind of thinking out loud, puzzling it together. Anyhow, I haven't actually filmed a video since last week. And it's Tuesday. The same day this one's going to be uploaded. So it's been a weekend. I mean, good weekend, just busy and crazy and like normal. So I hope you guys are all doing well. So that ends up being 9.5. So our book's a little bit taller than what I would usually use. And then there's still the little lip here from cutting it off the box. So I'm just going to kind of go through and straighten that up just a tad. Hopefully we'll just be able to take a nip off of there. Okay. Make sure it all still fits down in there and take off any more than we might need to. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and straighten out this other edge too, just to make sure we're pretty flush with everything. do wish these older ones, that's not even close. I wish these older ones would have more alignment, if that makes sense, on the like down here. Let's double check. Yep, that should fit snug right down in there, and then our fabric and stuff will cover that, and then I'll trim a little bit out with the scissors. Okay, so we really are at, I'm really, you know what, if we just went ahead and took off that extra little nip there, then we'll be like right at 1.5 inch there. Actually, I'm gonna take that little bitty thing off there. See if that makes a difference. I know I'm being a little fussy here, but a little fussy at the beginning is better than not. Let me double check to make sure I didn't like, I think taking that little sliver off. And we want it to kind of sit down in there for support. Okay. All right, so let's see, what did we decide? This was 9.5. Oops. Oh, just under 9.5. My goodness, you would almost think it's like, it's like Monday or something here. I can't quite get my act together or something. Okay, I'm gonna do both sides, like kind of just trim off both sides to make sure we're really getting it as straight as we possibly can. Okay, and I'm going to do 3 of these. I love being able to use up scraps. Oh, no, not quite. Darn it. Oh, well. All right, that's perfect. All right, let's go ahead and glue those together. And we're going to use the Fabri-Tac. I'm going to do pretty much what I did before on it. Where did my one little piece go that I was using as a glue sheet? Well, I guess we're just not going to use it. Okay, I think the next one that we're going to do, the next journal, and I do have to lay it down. I got to find something here. This. I got to be able to really smooth it down. Gracie's last day of school is tomorrow. Can you believe it? Like her and I were talking last week about how this week or this year of school has like flown by and yet not flown by. You know, like it seemed like it took forever. and now it's done. I don't know. And I think a lot of it has to do with all the, you know, back and forth, you know, everybody being quarantined or, you know, or what have you, just different things going on, you know. Okay, so that makes a pretty firm reinforcement there. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and I'm going to oops. I am jiggling you guys all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down, and I'm going to have to work at it to get it to stay down in there because we're just a little bit bigger, but I would rather there be just a little bit bigger. Because if it's a little bit bigger, then the weak points right here won't be so bad, like long term. Oh, and my right eye keeps twitching. Isn't that weird? I think it's weird. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of lightly bend this up a little. Makes it a little bit easier to get it stuck down in there. I'm going to try to get caught back up on comments this week too, because I have a bunch to answer there too. Lots and lots of questions, so I need to get that caught back up. Okay, now what I do is I take clips. I'm going to have to grab a couple more, and I clip that in and clip it down. And then let me grab 2 more. Clip the other end, and then we will get our fabric ready. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside so it can get all glued down. Maybe. All right, it's giving me a little bit of fits there, so hopefully, let me weight that middle down really quick. All right, hold on. Okay, so while that's kind of drying, I'm going to go ahead and get the cover fabric ready. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. The cover of the book is 14 by 9.5. So I'm going to rip my fabric. I'll rip one end and then I'll measure it out. Just taking some strips, and don't throw away your strips because these are the things used for tag toppers and stuff like that, okay? So I just do that to kind of really clean up the edges. So I want to do 15 inches is what I do. Since my cover's 14, I'll measure and rip it at 15 inches so it gives me some, it gives me like a 1/2 inch on each side. Okay, 15 and 15, right? Oh, wait a minute. No, this is the 15. Oh my goodness. All right, who is responsible? Excuse me. Let the allergy season begin, huh? Oh, I've been noticing the last few days, the more and more, oh, well, that happens, huh? The more and more that things start to bloom, the more and more I'm sneezing. And I'm like, well, that's not really, they're just lifting mask mandates here in our area. So, yeah. Anyways, okay, so, oh, wait a minute. Why am I having such an issue with my brain functioning this morning? Okay, so this is the 15-inch side. So I want, right? So this needs to be 9.5. Okay. Oh my goodness. You know, whoever was watching me over the weekend didn't really do a good job, did they? No, I'm teasing. So it's 9.5, so I'm going to rip it at 10.5. Okay. Okay. And we'll fold and get rid of that. Or not rid of it, but you know what I mean. Set it aside. Okay, so we should be pretty square for our cover. I am going to use my tacky glue for this. I gotta remember to pick up a new one because that one's getting kind of low. All right, so we should be pretty set. Yep, pretty set. Okay, so that is what it looks like when it is in there. Sorry, I'm hanging up my clips really quick so I don't lose them. All right, so I'm going to make sure it doesn't really shine. I'm not worried about the spine because we're going to do something different for the spine. But I think it looks pretty okay through there, hopefully. And what I'm kind of talking about is the seeing the color of the book through there. I think it's okay. All right, so I'm going to kind of measure this. Not measure, fold it and do a finger press here so I know where the middle is. Okay. Okay, then I usually do another one in the middle, like just kind of fold it down and kind of finger press another crease in there. Gives me a rough idea of where the middle is. Okay. And this will be important because 9.5 or 9.5 would be 4.5. So like 4 3/4 is about half. Okay. I'm just going to do that so that I kind of know the halfway mark, and I'll show you why it'll be important here in a minute. So again, I'm just going to use this, and then we'll use my finger tool to get the glue really spread in and all over. And I'm only going to start at the spine first. Like so. Really making sure that crease gets glued in there so that we can really make sure it sticks down in there. Okay. Since I finger pressed this, I kind of know roughly where the middle vertically is. And then horizontally, I can kind of match that up with this one, like so. It should be right about middle so that we have the 1/2 inch mark on each side when we go to flip it around. I mean, ultimately, it's not a deal breaker as long as you have enough that will overlap, but it does make it a whole lot easier. Okay, I'm going to flip one side up. Come on. I think that's probably the only thing I don't like about the tacky glue is that it literally takes forever to get it out, and it's like hard to squeeze, so it's a little bit hard on your hands. I don't know if the smaller bottles are better, but now this, you want to, the more even of a coat you can get spread, the better, okay? That part, I can't stress enough how important that part is. That's going to make or break whether the fabric like lays nice or not, is how even your coat here is, as far as like stickability, if that makes any sense. Really get up in that crease there, because you don't want your fabric eventually like bubbling up. And it has happened before to me. You want to make sure you get all of your creases out. Oh, yep, I'm off just a little bit on this side. But as long as I have enough to lap over, we'll be okay. Okay. Looking good, looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one back, get our glue really down on this one. Oh, yeah, it doesn't really matter how you get it on there, just get it on there. You can use Fabri-Tac. I'm not crazy about Fabri-Tac on fabric covers. And it's a personal preference. I mean, if it works great for you, awesome. For me, the darker the fabric, the more that Fabri-Tac shows through, like it'll bleed through, and I just really don't like that. So I have found that the Aleene's, even though it's kind of hard to get it squeezed out of your bottle, for me it works the best, and it doesn't show any like thick glue marks or whatever. But like I said, the downside is that it is so hard to squeeze out of the tube. And I have in the past put it like in a bowl and used a brush. I just don't particularly like cleaning up that kind of stuff. So, yep, you can call me lazy. All right, so in theory, we are almost ready for the inside, and it's pretty close. Once we get our, I think I'm going to do paper on the inside. You can cover the inside with fabric, and I used to do that a lot, and I mean like this part right here. I used to do that a lot in the beginning, but I actually like my journals to not have that. I like them to have the paper because it does help with being able to put like pockets and stuff there. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to cut my corners. So I'm just going to snip them up this way. Miter the corners, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And thank goodness I'm not using the other glue because that would be almost dry by the time I got there. And I always do it with a little bit of caution and cut a little bit too big because I'd rather have to trim out a little bit more than actually lose the ability to really round those corners out nicely. When I do fabric covers though, I do always use the I can't really see what I'm doing, huh? I use the I am so sorry guys with the loss of words today. Corner edges, like book covers or book corners, right? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. And then I really work that. And remember, we don't fold our covers up into book shape when we're doing this kind of stuff, okay? Just let it dry out. And then I promise you it'll be much, much better. You won't get nearly the buckling that you get if you were to like move it in there now. Like fold it up and make sure it look, you know. That's been my experience anyways. Just give it a few minutes to set. I promise it'll work out good. Sorry, I'm just working that up just a little bit more. Okay. Oh, I almost got lost in what I was trying to do. That's a good thing you guys like me, huh? Oh. I would say I need a nap, but I actually slept really good last night. Maybe that's part of my problem, is that I slept almost too good. I only woke up once and was only up for like 15 minutes. So that was awesome. That hasn't happened in like almost a year. So that was good. Little wins, right? Little wins. Oh, and I guess I should tell you what I'm doing. I'm just rolling the fabric up over the corners. Like so. And I do the long way, and then I'll go back and do the edges of the book. Ugh, that is gluey fingers, right? Yeah, so we'll stop right after I get these two sides up. Yeah. And then tomorrow's video, we will finish out the other, finishing this part here. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with the spines, like the inside and the outside. I think you'll enjoy that. Of course, I'll have to pause the video when I'm doing what we're going to do, but mostly because I can't sew on camera. Because my sewing machine's on the other side of the room, and then, you know. Okay. Make sure those corners are down well. Something I didn't do over here, so we'll go back and touch that. Okay guys, that is how I glue on a fabric to a book that we ripped out the spine stuff to. Yeah, so that's front and back. That's what it's looking like. All right, cool. All right guys, I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.